Well, it looks like we've got a roadmap. Just not the type of roadmap you might think. Hello everybody, welcome to a brand new video. Also, did you know that MCOC has got a new website? No? Does anybody care? I'm sure somebody cares. It's actually like, it's not too bad. It's got these really kind of like cool features to the right hand side. It's actually quite nice, quick and snappy. You know, you click on champions and you got like a whole list of champions. Easy kind of like filtration just to grab them. Look, it's no Aunt May, but it's like at least to say that, you know, Kabam have made some element of improvement to it. In any case, let's get into the video. The main topic of the video is indeed looking at what Kabam put as their Year 7 narrative roadmap. This is actually pretty nice, and if you are wondering about where this story is, then this is one of these videos. Gabriel Frazera first of all kicks off by probably explaining like where we've gone in the last 7 years from the start of MCOC right the way through to where we are now, especially from, you know, the early days of the Collector, the influence of Kang, right the way through to where the Maestro and the Grandmaster fall into the grand plan of the story over the last 7 years. So I think it's very interesting. Do you know what? I don't know where to begin with the spoilers. I mean, the first big thing is saying that Galactus is going to be part of the big story arcs going into 2022, which is cool. You know, it's been something for a long time we've wanted to see. There seems to be as well like a big push towards mutant based things as well, with Magneto coming back, and also a push of the Brotherhood of Mutants. It could see any like champion that we've kind of like talked about in the puzzle that's related to the Brotherhood of Mutants, which could be relevant for this particular, well, story arc. It's also so much more, especially with like Karina getting so kind of like annoyed with the mutants and the inner turmoil and inner fighting, that there's going to be like potentially one other big mutant to try and like overthrow and lead. This could be a unique one. It could even be something like they grabbed from 2099. We talked about it, X-Men 2099 the other day, and the idea of maybe something plucked from the Battle Realm of Time perspective. We've got Punisher 2099, so anything could really be part of it. And there's so much more. There's so many different mutants that could be kind of like coming in. There's like quick allusion, the quick things here alluded to a character. And I'll probably have to kind of like break this down into a video to kind of go like, okay, well, what kind of character is this? Now, I personally have my own theory that it's going to be an incredibly powerful mutant or associated mutant character, which kind of puts it into the realms of Selene. More on that and again in another video, but that's my personal pick there. Someone that has association with mutants. And with the House of X story arc, Professor Xavier on Krakoa does bring in Selene, and she is an incredibly powerful mutant. So yeah, anything could really happen. There's also mention of Spider-Verse based things, as well as Hell's Kitchen is in tatters. So there may be some like more kind of relation to like that kind of coming into the game, whether or not it's going to be, I don't know, something from Hell's Kitchen New York character, but also as you said, the Spider-Verse stuff. And 2 Spider-Verse related characters, and I don't know if ththese silhouettes are just used for the purpose of silhouette, or whether or not we could see something like, I don't know, Shadowcat, like characters of the Spider-Verse not directly associated. Is that going to be a new version of Daredevil? I don't know. These are kind of like placeholder silhouettes, so you just, again, don't know. I kind of feel like if they wouldn't give away if there were going to be major Spider-Verse characters coming into the game. And if they were, it'd probably be something next month, especially considering that, you know, we want to get the hype from the movie, or maybe not, because, you know, it's always very kind of odd at times the way that Kabam are kind of aligning with film releases and stuff. We're also going to see like a Multiverse of Madness Doctor Strange event. For me personally, this has got to be it's got to be Wong. Wong's got to be put into the game. Sorry, but now is the perfect opportunity with this to go, look, we'll have Wong and then a villain or associated villain, especially with a movie. So that's got to happen. Man, I'd love to see Wong in this game. There's also going to be a Kree and Skull kind of like Nova mashing event, and this may be the time that we see the standard Skrull character within the game. But I don't think that's the case, because Super Skrull basically kind of like slapped out of the water as a kind of like a character, and as well like Skrulls are all about kind of shape-shifting, so that's probably what it's going to be. I have no idea what this is going to have associations with. As there's a missing an Avenger, like I don't know if that's going to be like a new kind of like Avengers type champion, but I doubt it. I think he's just going to be some like, I don't know, random champion associated with Nova, or the Kree, or the Skrulls, maybe even like a Kree soldier of some kind. Now for Love and Thunder, the presenter says that you'll need some of Thor's allies. Whether or not this will be characters within the game or they'll be coming to the game, it would be interesting to note. But for this, I would like to see a new Thor within the game. I know people will say, oh, they'd like to see Stormbreaker Thor. For me personally, as a lot of you know, I don't want to ever see Stormbreaker Thor. Because, number one, we're past the point. And number two, I just don't like the idea. I would personally like to see either Beta Ray Bill or a Yamborn, so the battle axe wielding version of Thor, and that is more of a kind of like or Herald of Galactus Thor, which is a pretty sick Thor, to be honest. Either way, I'd like to see something like a new type of Thor. We'll probably see something Jane Foster kind of like buff about in that time, or we'll see like a new version of Jane Foster into the game as the kind of like hazard a guess. But you know, Beta Ray Bill would be sick to put in the game. Also, there seems to be something with Silver Surfer. There could be a new character associated with that, so that's pretty cool. Just maybe it's a new Herald of Galactus, which most of the time that seems to be the interaction of the kind of like story. There's also seems to be some like new kind of like crews and just new champion affiliations that seem to be coming into game, which is pretty cool. I like that, but you know, it needs to be expanded on. And to finish off, there seems to be like a new kind of crew that's been alluded to, a new kind of like legion of characters, which is you know, good. I don't know if it's like Marauders or what this is right here. But these are the dregs. Then we've got like a Spider-Verse type matchup. This is what I'd like hoped would be like more Spider-Verse characters, especially more for the representation side of things, because there's the Scarlet Spider. There's still like a whole host of different types of Spider-Men that haven't been kind of like mentioned or put into the game, which would be good. Spider-Man Noir, I know a lot of people are kind of interested in. So yeah, it would be nice to kind of add in another one of those. But you know, for the community, there's a large portion of people that don't like Spider-Verse characters coming in that soon. There also seems to be like a Black Panther event, and that kind of like, you know, seems more logical, and they've got to like, you know, chart into the film stuff. And as well, there seems to be like, I think something else with Guardians of the Galaxy, like there's like a winter special, and let's face it, like this will probably be the best time for them to do that variant they said about, because like, we did skip a variant, which was like the Groot and Rocket's holiday special. Like that was several years ago, in kind of like what I think it was like a December time, like winter thing. So it would be nice to see something like a return back to it, like a slight nod. But you know, this stuff for next year seems relatively exciting, and if there's a new Guardians of the Galaxy character in association, Mantis would be a great kind of like extra addition, or anything really that's kind of like being in the films, or as well in the comic books, or something that maybe is kind of coming up in the Guardians of the Galaxy 2023 film. I can actually hear Santa in the background, and like there's the Santa comes around the different estates. Now, final thoughts on all this is that it does sound really exciting, but I really hope that some of the champions that a lot of players have asked for a long time, like Beta Ray Bill, like, well, you know, anything, because there's a lot of champions still players are kind of like, you know, talking about, yeah, okay, Stormbreaker Thor would be something that would be cool, and maybe it could be the party Thor type variant of him in game in the future. But let's face it, there's still a lot of the champions that we'd like to see. There's been less when it comes to like the movie tie-in versions, especially from appearance, but it's been good to see something like Shang-Chi. It's a shame for me because I really like the movie version and what they did with the outfit, the uniform. So I'd really like to see more of that this year, especially with things like, as I said, Party Thor, Jane Foster Thor, which we'll likely see, and whether or not they'll just rebrand the old one, or they're going to look into this year as different things. We were probably going to see a version of Shuri as the Black Panther, especially with a lot of the physical stuff that she's doing, and you know, breaking. I think she broke a bone recently, but still, I want to be optimistic for next year when it comes to events. Yes, this was not the element of roadmap coverage we wanted to see about, say, controls issues with new content, new game modes, and stuff like that. That's probably going to be saved for some sort of like dev diary. This is kind of like a good hype video to say, look, this is what's coming in the next year. And do you know what? I rate Kabam for doing this, because it kind of like puts a bit of positivity to announce stuff for the following year. There's just the other thing that's got to come up with it, with the hype, is also the performance. And that's the thing. You can hype up the performance thing and say, yes, as a developer, they're going to do this, this, and this, but then they've got to back it up. And that's the big thing about the last 6 months. Since the last like dev diaries were put about, you know, okay, we plan to do this, Project Genesis. Yeah, okay, some improvements have been there, but the parry dex controls issue has largely derailed a lot of that. And that's just the thing. They need to get back to a better state of this game so players can actually enjoy it again. So yes, you can announce all this stuff and be hyped about it, and I am hyped, but at the same time, I do have to kind of go like, right, Kabam, can you deliver on the other element of performance and allow the fun and the performance of the game to literally go hand in hand and side by side? That's what hopefully we can indeed see. But what are your thoughts on this? Put it in the comment section down below. Check out some other content that's located on screen right now, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.